That's actually one way you can use this. You don't have to be on your feet. I mean, you don't have to leave the mat. You can bounce as high as you want. Now, I have practiced doing that, so if you're on the stable, hold on to something first so you don't fly off and hurt yourself. So I have a question for you. Are you sick in the head? Am I sick in the head? What am I talking about? What in the world? Well, when we're on the healing path, particularly this particular detox healing path, we can be so concerned with what we're consuming. What do I eat? How much do I eat? How often do I eat? And so on. Am I getting enough calories and all this? But although eating is absolutely essential, and what we put in is what's going to help us heal. I mean, garbage in, garbage out, right? Of course, we want to use the highest fuel for our machine here for it to work properly. That's a fact. But a lot of people don't address what I personally believe is quite often the origin of these physical manifestations that we call diseases or ailments. The symptoms we experience in our body, I believe, start here. Yeah. And as a result of poorly managed emotions, unexpressed emotions, suppressed feelings and emotions and thoughts, not speaking and walking our truth, having a reaction to a traumatic event we've never really dealt with. From the time we've arrived on planet Earth, we come into a certain family, we come into a certain part of the world, certain circumstances, through our family, relatives, friends, schooling, religious affiliation. We're subjected to a lot of stimuli and a lot of experiences, and some of them, have been hard for us to deal with. So, what I'm suggesting to you is that I believe the origin of our physical symptoms are an imbalanced mental, psychological, spiritual, where we're at in our life. So if you believe that too, then you may be interested in staying tuned to this offer that I have for you. Some of you may have heard of Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life book. Well, in this book, there's a little section that's a list of physical symptoms. Here we go. This is the list of physical symptoms that you can look up. So, for example, varicose veins, I just turned to that, and it gives you a probable cause. This one is standing in a situation you hate, discouragement, feeling overworked and overburdened. And then you can replace that with a new thought pattern. And this thought pattern is, I stand in truth and live and move in joy. I love life and circulate freely. Well, since I've been studying with Dr. Morse for a long time, I can also suggest to you, if you have varicose veins, that's definitely demonstrating a parathyroid gland's weakness. And I can suggest how to help strengthen that, which is a whole other thing. So there's this, and then there's this book I invested in a few months that I haven't really used, but I wanted to make use and help you. It's that small list on steroids times 1,000. This whole book is ailments and diseases. So whereas this one's just a short list and it's helpful, you can look up, this one is similar to Louise Hay's, is that it gives you your ailment, but it talks about your ailment in detail, and then the mental and emotional cause, and it's much more elaborate in its explanation, and of course a different approach and different perspective. So I thought a good video offering to you is, if you wanted to explore this past the herbs and the diet and all of that for the detox protocol, if you wanted an additional insight to another layer of potential causes and underlying imbalances emotionally and mentally that could be blocking your healing progress, I would offer sharing this with you. What would that look like? Well, you could write into me and tell me that these are your ailments. And I don't want any medical terminology, like a long, medical diagnosis, because I don't have the time to look that up and translate it. You just tell me what's wrong with you. Like, for example, ulcerative colitis. I have inflammation and bleeding of the colon. I mean, I don't have that, so don't worry, I'm healed. But I could have said that, right? And I did say that at one point. Or I have arthritis and they're only manifesting in my knees. Or, I get constant migraines in the back of my head. These are a few examples. Or like varicose veins, whatever. Give me your most pressing concern. And, not a list of 10, because we have to be realistic, but we can start with that. So you could write into me, you could put it here under the comments below, or if you're, more private or shy and you don't want to go public with that, you can always send it to my email address that's listed in the description box below. And if you think this is a good idea, tell me. If you want to, want me to address this to you in a video. So for example, your name is Kathy, and you write in and say, just use my first name, Kathy. I'll know by the condition, or you can give me your last name or whatever name you want me to call you. Just give me those details. And I don't know how long it would take. I can read from both books to give you a couple different vantage points, a number of things to consider when you're thinking about this. So maybe, I don't know, a couple people per video, and I do this on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. I'm not sure how that's going to look yet. This is interactive. I'm throwing this out there and seeing if this is something you'd be interested in for your healing, that I can share this with you. A lot of people don't have access to this information, or hearing it from another person might sound different to them than reading it for themselves. You know how that goes. So that's my offer in helping you. This has to be interactive because I'm doing this for you. I have all this information for myself. These are my books and I'm reading. So let me know. There's that. And then there's Dr. Morris's The Detox Miracle Source book. This could be also another video idea where you're interested in me reading some parts of the book on a weekly or bi-weekly basis with the same sort of questions. I want to hear about the adrenals or the endocrine system, or what is protein anyway. There's a lot in here. This is a completely different approach. So this is the mental, emotional, and then this is, Dr. Morse's writings in the book that he sells through his website and that you get when you attend his detoxification school. So I think that, I want to share, there's worms. I just turned to. But, we all have parasites, so if you want to hear about that, what's a pH factor of food? You hear about alkaline and acidosis. Well, what is pH? There's so many possibilities. So let me know. Either let me in the comments below that, yes, you think these are good video ideas. Yes, you want to be included in these videos. You have general questions from Dr. Morris's book that you want me to read about, or you have specific about your ailments that you want me to address. Does that make sense? I hope so. That's my offering to you. We're very multifaceted, and healing is a holistic, synergistic approach with mind, body, and spirit. You can't have one without the other. If we have a problem with our arm, we don't cut our arm off. We not just address the symptoms, and it's here, you know. We all have them. We're all sick in the head. I mean that. I don't mean that, you know, in a mean way. I mean, we're all imbalanced. We all have our challenges. We all have our blocks, for certain. If you're a human on this planet, you have it. And I'm here as your, you know, assistant detective to help you uncover another layer so you can solve the mystery and puzzle that you are and become more authentically, fully realized to have a happier, healthier, more joyful life. Thank you for joining me.